bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, who just announced his retirement. And are you officially retired? Like retired, sent in your paperwork?
I'm gonna have to check on the paperwork stuff, but I'm officially in my mind retired. Yes.
But is there paperwork that you actually have to fill out and you send it to the NFL home office?
Gosh, that is a great question, and I feel embarrassed that I do not know. I don't think so, though. I don't think I need to send anything in.
Could you have played another season?
Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, I had a hip injury last year that still gives me some issues every now and again. So I don't know physically, mentally, emotionally. Yes, totally could have played, but I'm not sure physically if I would have been able to get there.
Is there a hit that you remember that still hurts?
Yes. There are two hits that still hurt every time I get out of bed. Um, James Harrison and London Fletcher were the two guys, both like similar in stature, the kind of shorter, compact, but real heavy hitters. And the London Fletcher one, I slid the line the wrong way and never made that mistake again.
I was wondering about this with Josh Allen, that he's sort of a unicorn. He's Cam Newton 2.0, maybe a better passer, but I don't know if you get to the point where you say, I don't want to take away one of his great weapons. Now, as an analyst and you played the position, what would you say to Josh Allen? I mean, you want to preserve yourself, but also I don't want to take away that weapon. So there's sort of that dichotomy of, can you do it? How long do you do it? How much should you do it?
Yeah, and that it was just funny listening to Collinsworth last night wrestle with that the whole game. But that is what makes him special. Like his ability to run, it's the designed runs, it's on third down when they're in certain coverages, him recognizing that and taking off. But more so than that, and the picking up the first downs and the 5, 10, 15-yard runs, if you look at the sideline, if you look at his teammates, every time he's on the ground, you got two people helping him up. He's got a big, goofy smile on his face. That energizes that football team. And I think that's something that's hard to quantify. We can't go into the analytics of how excited people get to watch Josh Allen play football, but it energizes, obviously, the city of Buffalo, but that sideline and the defense and the guys that he's playing with. So I think it's such an important part of his game because of what it brings to the team, not just because of the first downs that he's picking up.
But also with Cam Newton, it just felt like you don't want your quarterback to run, as you know. I don't care how fast you are or how big you are. Somebody's going to be faster and somebody's going to be bigger, and you're going to get hit. I liken Josh Allen almost to Dante Culpepper. Like these guys were just big and athletic, but then Culpepper ended up having the knee injury. I don't know how you protect a quarterback. Can you? Who has that kind of athleticism?
No, I don't think you can. And I think he's really smart about picking and choosing. He's got a great stiff arm. We saw that on display last night. He's not going to try to run over. Maybe he did try to run over Bobby Wagner, but there's certain guys. He's not going to try to run over Ray Lewis. He's going to pick and choose his battles, but it's what makes him maybe more special than any other quarterback in the league.
Did you ever try to run over somebody? You get caught up with adrenaline and you're like, I'm going to take this guy on.
Yeah. I mean, the best one I had was actually, I think I was in year 13 of my career, and it was a preseason game. And I just got caught up in it. I was in maybe year 14 or 15. I was in Miami and we were playing Tampa.
Preseason.
And it was preseason, and it was my buddy, Jack Sitchie. But sometimes it just takes over you and you're out there playing football.
If I didn't see the game last night, how would you sum up the Rams' performance?
They laid an egg. I mean, they didn't play very well. Buffalo had 4 turnovers and still scored 31 points, but more so than the defensive performance, it was the offensive performance for me that was concerning. I think you could tell early on, McVay, by the way he was calling plays, he wanted to protect the offensive line. They were going to run the ball. They threw a couple, the tight end screens, and They ended up giving up 7 sacks. I don't know. It wasn't that Allen Robinson wasn't a big factor in the game. He didn't even get any targets. So that was their big acquisition, and he didn't even get a target. He didn't get a wide receiver screen. They didn't try to get him going at all. So I think there's, some alarms that are sounding right now on, Allen Robinson and that relationship maybe with Matt Stafford and their dynamic and chemistry. It just didn't seem like he was looking at him at all. And that's a very important position to get that offense to go this year.
He's Ryan Fitzpatrick, Amazon Prime Video, Thursday Night Football analyst, and, of course, former NFL quarterback. But can you look at this as a one-off with the Rams? Or did you see something that is going to be concerning?
Well, I think, I was more concerned with their offense than their defense. And Sean McVay is their head coach, and Matthew Stafford is their quarterback. So, I don't know if this happens 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row. Yes, we're going to be really concerned. But my biggest concern coming out of it was the lack of opportunities for Allen Robinson and not even really looking his way, even sometimes when the coverage dictated it. So I just wonder about that chemistry because it is such an important position in that offense.
How much did your education play in processing or not play in to processing, week in and week out playing in the NFL at quarterback?
I don't know that it did. I know early on I picked one of the only professions where it worked against me. Well, I don't know. This guy, he went to Harvard. Does he really care about football? That was kind of the question I got all the time. I don't know that it played in much, but, having to go from city to city, learning different offenses, that was always a big thing. And a big strength of mine was to be able to pick those up quickly. You
have all your jerseys framed?
I have all my jerseys. I don't have them framed right now. I've got in my office here at our house, I've got all the helmets, and then I have game balls with my kids' names and their stats, height, weight, the day that they were born, and what city they were born in.
Best and worst uniform you played in?
Well, I played in the Christmas game when the Jets were all green and the Bills were all red, and that one was. The uniform was fine, I guess, but the combination was just a little bit weird. I think the early Rams uniform that I was in back in 05, 06, those were a little bit tough. And then the throwback Miami, maybe the throwback Bills, those were pretty cool.
I know you have a lot of people there to help you with Amazon, but do you have any questions that I might be able to help you in being an analyst on Thursday Night Football?
I do have a lot of opinions coming my way for people to tell me what to do and what not to do. But, my biggest question and the thing that I wonder how it's going to go, I'm still not sure. I have so many relationships, coaches, players, GMs, staff. The part about where do I draw the line of information I'm getting, things that I'm saying on air, I'm not saying, betraying trust. That trust issue for me is one of those things that I'm not really sure where that line is going to be.
I think what you have to do is just be fair, because you don't want to be so vanilla that you're not interesting, but you don't want to be over the top where you're compromising relationships. But I think, and I work with Tony Dungy and Rodney Harrison. I've worked with a lot of analysts over the years, and I always said, just be honest. No, nobody can fault you for being honest. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be honest about something that maybe you shouldn't be putting on TV, but you're going to get so much advice that trying to filter that out and go, can I trust one person who will give me the best advice? And that's what you should try to do. Because somebody's going to say, hey, do this. Hey, don't do this. You know what worked is this. It has to work for you. And everybody's different. But I always thought that the less I've cluttered your head with, the better. And I would probably button the shirt up a little bit, not show as much chest hair as you can.
I actually was going to go one more down. Okay,
so let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, I should brush it, I think, before I come on. I think you're right on that one. That's a good point.
I would go more chest hair than less chest hair. But you're also speaking in sound bites. You're going to have 20 seconds, 40 seconds. They may say, hey, cut it short. And that's what's going to be difficult. Can you get to the point? Can you deliver the knockout punch? I would always say that to my analyst. Hit me. Don't build up to it. Hit me. Tell me something. And then get out.
Yeah.
Leave them with something where they go, do you hear what Fitzpatrick said? That's what you want. And if I go through a show and I don't remember anything you said, then you didn't do your job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for that advice. We'll see how I do.
Yeah. But, no reason to be nervous. Are you more nervous about this than you were your first start in the NFL?
No, this part, I'm not going to say this part's going to be easy, but this is me getting to watch football and talk about football. So, we did our first run through in a preseason game 2 weeks ago. And the part that I enjoyed most, I got to sit and watch the first half and then put a clip together of Trey Lance and 4 or 5 plays just to give everybody my perspective on what I thought. And one of the first things I thought, the first play of the game, he kind of tripped up the running back, which maybe a lot of people didn't see or notice, but his mind was moving a little fast. Even though it was a preseason game, he hasn't played a lot of games. He was nervous. And so picking up on some of those little nuances, that's kind of what got me going a little bit as I was doing my stuff at halftime, was being able to see that, take my perspective and project it to the audience.
And it's a great point you bring up. And I always use this. Rodney Harrison came in for an audition and he noticed that Tony Gonzalez lined up 1 yard wider. And he said, we always knew it was a pass play. And it was so small, but you want to make your audience smarter. And you have that ability with all the years that you played, different places, different coaches, different styles, different defenders. To be able to share that is really what's essential. And having that ability to pick up on nuance is what separates, average from good and good from great. So.
And now I'm working with Tony Gonzalez, so I'll see if there's any tendencies he has while he's holding the mic.
Good luck, Ryan. And thanks again, all the contributions you made over the years to the show. You're always available. We appreciated that. And we wish you well.
All right. Get that Prime Video app. Let's do it on Thursday Night Football, baby.